Hey guys, this is Chris Quick. We're back with another video of the Indomitable Martial King. But today we're going to be doing a little bit something different. Something that'll probably be more interesting in the matter. Probably something a little bit more direct. So for this one, instead of something that's like the usual previous parts, we're going to do a little bit more direct approach. So once again, if you enjoy this video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, put notifications, and be sure to let me know down in the comments below of what do you think of this style approach indeed. And without further ado, let's go on ahead and get right into the video. Okay, so to give you guys a recap, we're at the situation to where Shaolin and her group were rescued by Sirius and Rivenheart in the matter. Because previously, Sirius was looking for her hometown. She was growing homesick. And so Rivenheart wanted to take her out to the desert to visit her homeland. And things were kind of weird. The town was pretty much like a ghost town, but at the same time, things were a little bit fresh. Like you saw the food, a little bit of stuff like that. So when Rivenheart pointed this pretty much out, it was pretty clear that something might have went down. This is when Sirius noticed the presence of the other elves at the time, which we will reveal later to be Shaolin and the others. Everybody was battling out, duking it out, and stuff like that. Then after the battle was over, we are at now at the present. So that's a little good recap and stuff like that. So now we're at the part where Sirius' name was actually revealed to be Serendi. Yeah, Serendi. So now that her name has been revealed, things were looking pretty well between them until Shaolin decides to smack her hand away. She was like, well, I don't want to be associated with someone that stooped down low to be a slave to a human. And so this would be like a shock factor, but Rivenheart would step in to chime in on the matter and say that Sirius is not a slave, she is a comrade. But Rivenheart fails to realize that Sirius has been paying attention to him for quite some time now, ever since they first met. And Sirius would point out that something was odd about the way that Rivenheart showed his sincerity towards her. Basically, she points out that who you are showing sincerity to is not towards me, but someone through me. Because if you really think about it, Rivenheart and Sirius in this life met as slave and owner, whereas in their past life, Rivenheart was the savior, while Sirius was the slave. And this builds up in that past life as them being together. But in this circumstance, it was kind of weird because Rivenheart already knows Sirius, but Sirius does not know Rivenheart. Of course, this Sirius does not know Rivenheart. And she finds it weird that the sincerity that's aimed towards her is not felt like it's aimed towards her, but through her. And she points this out and tells Rivenheart and be clear about it by saying that you might as well treat me as a slave if your sincerity is not aimed towards me. I don't know about you, but that was an amazing observation. When I was reading that and I saw that, that was pretty like, whoa. I was like, whoa, like what in the world? Like Sirius was able to observe that and pick up on that. That was pretty good. And so with Rivenheart understanding her point of view, he would tell her that you're free to choose whichever route that you want to take, whether it's to be to go with him or to stay. And she would ask for more time. Now with that said, the group gets ready to go. Pretty much they're aiming towards the hiding spot that Shaolin is going to lead the group, with Rivenheart coming along as well. Now the misunderstanding between Shaolin and Sirius, between, you know, the whole situation between the slave thing is now resolved, because Shaolin points out that, oh, this person's a good human because he was able to figure out your name. And then Sirius would be like, now wait a minute. Now how in the world does he know my name was Serendi when I myself didn't know that my name was Serendi? Like we're already at the point where we're starting to see like cracks just slipping a little bit of Rivenheart's like getting a little bit things mixed up between his past life and this life as well. So it's kind of gonna, she's kind of gonna catch on because she's already being observative that your sincerity was not aimed towards her. So it was kind of like right there. But anyway, as time would pass, they would arrive at the village. At first, they would meet with hostility because of Rivenheart's presence as a human, but Rivenheart would show pretty much good etiquette and then showcase his strength to demonstrate that he comes with good intentions. Because it's a little bit different from humans. If you showcase your strength, most people, like humans, would view that as a threat. Like, what in the world? Like, wait, like, is he trying to fight us or something like that? But for elves, they see it as something different. They'll say, oh, okay, so he came with good intentions. So it's a win-win. And so they go into the village and then they meet the village elder chief, pretty much. And then the village elder chief remembers Sirius. Sirius as the person that was from the day of the nightmare. The day of the nightmare of everything that happened, everything that was devastated and stuff like that. And so later on that night, they would celebrate in return of Sirius. Now while the night goes on, people are having fun, Sirius reuniting with her old childhood friends and stuff like that, Rivenheart begins to think. He would begin to walk up to the village elder chief and ask him if Sirius could learn spirit magic. However, the village elder chief would tell him that, well, our world tree is pretty much lost at the moment, so we really can't teach her anything. Now with Rivenheart understanding the situation, days would pass. Now during those times, Sirius has been training. She's been training on sensing spirit magic. Now, she can't acquire spirit magic because of what we just mentioned a while ago, because of the world tree being not present, but she can sense spirit magic. Even sensing spirit magic was pretty much a shock for Shaolin, because that in and of itself took her longer to do than what it took Sirius like a short amount of time to do. So even if they don't have access to it, sensing spirits is still quite a feat of it itself. Now back at the top between Rivenheart and Sirius, they'll begin discussing about like whether Sirius is going to stay or going to go. Sirius would think on the matter, and of course she would say that I want to stay. But the only thing about that is that it wouldn't really help her people in terms of growth, and it wouldn't change their lives. And so Sirius will look over to Rivenheart and ask him that if your goals and aspirations is to do this, this, and that, will this also help my people grow? He would say yes, and then as a result, Sirius would reaffirm her decision and follow Rivenheart. Now knowing her decision, Rivenheart decides that in order to help her people, let's go ahead and give a boost. So remember what we talked about the world tree being missing? Well, Rivenheart is going to solve that situation. He will begin to take the elder and Sirius outside the village somewhere, and you may recall remembering the weapon that Sirius once held that was from Elfenheim, the stick with the rope tied to it that happened to be a bow and arrow, right? That one. Yeah. So Rivenheart would use that weapon to strike the ground, casting an incantation on it, and being able to bloom a world tree. Now, how does he know this? Probably from his past life, more than likely. This would be a huge feat and more than likely would help the clan get back up on their feet like bit time. With this accomplishment, the two are going to make their way back to the Grand Forge. With this, the scene will switch over to Friesland, I believe that's what it's called, to a group of campers that have just came out of a ruin and gathered some artifacts. Now, the artifact that was picked up, one of them was the Book of Lost Records. But before anything could be expected, pretty much everybody was attacked, and that group was none other than Teslin. And not only Teslin is there, but he is there with Felena, Stefan, and Eustace. Yes, we're talking about Eustace, that the battle just happened in part 4, and Stefan in part 2. Yeah, Stefan, he looks way different now. You looking at him right now, he looks way and entirely different. But other than that, the campers, unfortunately, they have been slaughtered, because apparently the Book of Lost Records is called the Book of Lost Records, probably for a reason, and it probably has information on there that is not supposed to be seen at all. Overall, Teslin, upon inspecting all the stuff that they discover in the ruin, discovered the Illusion's voice. Basically, Teslin is willing to do whatever it takes to prevent Rivenheart from attaining his magical prowess from his past life. Now, with the scene going back to the Grand Forge, before Rivenheart has any plans on leaving with the group, Sirius will make her way towards the Great High Priest, Mashlin, and she has questions. She has a lot of questions about Rivenheart. She wants to know the truth. What is it about him, and why is he always sincere to her, so nice to her, and stuff like that, etc., etc. This, of course, is the realization that Sirius had about learning the truth of Rivenheart's past after Mashlin has revealed it. Now, of course, Rivenheart, now face to face with her, now knowing the situation, would seek and ask forgiveness for his behavior upon the matter. Now, of course, Sirius would say that, yeah, I'm still going to follow you, but remember, the Sirius that you once knew is not the one in front of you. But that doesn't mean that, of course, I dislike you or anything. It just means that I'm not her, I'm me. Now time begins to pass, and Rivenheart would make his plans to the Province Kingdom. So pretty much within the kingdom, there's a civil war going on between the Duke Karsus versus the second prince, Yubel Ren Krobus. Now as we move over to Yubel's residence, pretty much overall, he doesn't really want to aim for the throne. He pretty much wants to spend his time with his lover, Fenya. Now suddenly a voice will reach out to them, and of course that would be Rivenheart in disguise. So Rivenheart will go on to state that he wants to lend aid to the prince, providing Aura users, and then also a large sum of money that can help with the supplies. So you may ask yourself, what's in it for him, right? So all Rivenheart wants is a piece of land that is open to elves, dwarves, and many other otherworldly species that can live there freely and not as slaves. As you may ask yourself, where did the money come from? And that answer would be the Talbun trade, which you can look a couple of videos back for that one. And then as far as the Aura users go, Rivenheart has a plan to which he is going to visit the Land of Death. Now once they arrive at the Land of Death, they will soon be attacked by a group of warriors. Now Rivenheart, seeing this, will make short work of them pretty much by casting a sleeping spell to which the warriors don't have enough resistance to withstand that amount of level of magic. But Rivenheart was quick to realize that the warriors that they just fought wasn't really the real ones, as they began to see what was ahead of them. This is also where we see a cloaked figure coming in to say that humans are not allowed. Now, in order to establish trust between humans and orcs, Rivenheart comes up with an idea of solving this through a ritual battle, to which everybody would agree. And this is where we're going to wrap it up. If you like this type of content to where I am speaking directly towards you, more likely, so there's more interactions and stuff like that, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, notifications, and ring the bell. That way I know that you guys enjoyed the Manhwa content. Especially let me know down below if this is the style that you would rather prefer, or would you rather prefer the previous styles there. But anyway guys, thank y'all for watching, and once again, we'll see y'all on the next episode or the next part of the Indomitable Martial King.